Let's preface this preface, PREFACE, by saying I have no idea what you're all up to because I can't seem to get to communicate with anybody on a face-to-face. So now I'm just doing recon, RECON, and post-op, letting you know where I'm at after you did absolutely nothing. You had pre-op. You've been in the surgery and operation room for 42 years or more. And I'm still sitting, waiting as the #1 super soldier's wife in the testosterone program. We own something called Last Ticket to Vatican City, VATICANCITY. That's under the Papa Lift on Vertical Horizon, where when you're not just right, the eternal flame in front of you, this is just my per se, because this is between my betrothed and myself, my born four, the one that I'm BID, BIDDENFORE. So now he and I, if he looks at me and I'm not acting just right in vertical lift, in Papa vertical lift area with the slits the correct way in one dimension, he knows to take me by arm to the infirmary and submit the claim that the medic needs the infirmary to check the kidney stones because something is wrong and off. If he and I don't function correctly together as a bonded eternal flame on multi-dimension, what do you think is going to happen to the humans in their zombie project of brain dead? I'm just curious. Right, because you don't even know, like, certain things exist outside the scope and realm of your reality. Get that. But here's the thing, when I am little, maybe around 5, I had a ticket to ride Superstar, join us as company for the evening. I was looking forward to it. I talked about it all day with my grandfather, my nonno, Antonin from Italy. It was, I believe, he, Angelina, and I were there. Linda and Lou were taken away purposely because they are what I refer to as ES. They're the new service that nobody asked for, nobody likes, and it's already broken is the ES. I was born dimensionally between trying to stay in old OPRY and help on fixing the ES, but it's been an uphill battle with you humans since you are being reprogrammed, I guess you could say, by ear, by all the wrong words in a spell. Like, we give you these things like a witch spells. Her words change the world and the reality. Like that, like, I mean, you have a spell book, right? Now you have spelled words with diction of what it means, the definition, but it's not a cartouche approved why we built the word. I mean, you redefined your entire Spracha catalog and then published it and sold it in mass quantities to the ill-begot. to the ES project. I'm testosterone. I'm the, not even like, I mean, there's the ES, there's old Opry, and he and I are testosterone. We're an eternal flame, he and I, all by ourselves. We're the one together because we work, we look exactly alike, but he has 7 holes, I have 8 holes, and we're mirror image as far as thought process, thought pattern. He gets to be the one, like one deterrent, as like a one differential in the irrational system. But rationally, you can understand why we are so similar, I guess you could say. It's the sim, SIM, and then it's liar, LIAR, but the L and the I are switched on similarly. Yeah, well, we're working a gamma radiation field in old Opry and in the ES. So there's like old Opry, I thought, had a better understanding. At least they knew that we were here and to help us. I knew the ill-begot ES Project Lewis is like the pornographic catalog. You're like, I don't. It's like, I get that they enjoy being in the ES Project. Really, I do. I would just prefer God's department in the papal state of Vatican heaven. Could you not leave me with the pornographic catalog my whole life? Could I get to old Opry quicker than what they're telling me on other teams of Super Leagues? Because I'm born to the pornographic catalog, which makes the Super League and Super Soldiers a little upset in the wife and mom territory. And I'm like, I'm not looking. I'm trying not to listen. I'm trying not to look. It's like, right, yeah, okay. But then that got confusing. I mean, like, you really do need, like, a video in order to get, like, it's, your own mind might, like, get away from you in whatever mental catalog you're working out of. I don't really know how to explain that much better than that. But it's like, I just want my testosterone, like, tall guy, like, one that I was born for. I really didn't want this New York lifestyle. I did call to say, please don't leave me here. I mean, the word colostomy, it's a colossal word for testosterone to explain us and get money and security to come get me and not leave me in the shitbag that New York is. I mean, it's what they're used to. They're used to the porn and the cussing and the toxic fumes. I get that. I don't want to be. Please get me out. This is like a poltergeist to a whole nother echelon of like, you thought you were at the glass ceiling. Right? I know I keep trying to tell you I don't want to like, at Opry, like, it's okay, we know. You thought you were the top, we get it. But there's one level above you, and we don't like to share that level with other people. Because we like to move in between and just do what we came to do and quietly, like a ninja team of just do swimming in kelp. That's why we say swimming in kelp, because if he gets a team of like some super helpful Olympians, like, we'll just put air apparatus in our mouth, scuba gear, so nobody talks, and we're all swimming together, so the people in old Opry don't get all crazy about it, and the people in the porn catalog of ES don't get all crazy. And then we could just swim together and fix stuff, like underwater, like, here's your scuba knife, want to go get that? Great, thank you, that was really nice. I'll thank you when we get up to the top of the water, because I can't speak right now. I mean, like, how much more do we have to explain for you to become useful in some capacity? I mean, I gotta think about this. All right, so we got Super Soldier, we got Old Opry, we got the testosterone. All right, Lynn and Lou weren't there. I don't know. I mean, Lewis Moore wakes up. He's like, oh, I've been listening to some gurus. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. There's no such thing. Okay, yeah, and he's like, they're talking about consciousness and like the intent and the intent and in something or other. And I'm like, Lewis, do me a favor. I was like, before you get past that word consciousness, can you, like, if it was a cartouche, could you decipher how man or woman built the word cartouche to get to a even keel that then they could build perhaps like a solid base, and then you build up to a pinnacle point of something to hold together in a pyramidal shape, right? I was like, could you just explain to me what that word? And he's like, well, and he starts using more words, and I'm like, Liz, what do those words mean to you? I'm like, what does intent mean? Like, I know what it means, but what does it mean to you? And then he's explaining the word with more words in like this soliloquy and monologue, and I'm going, like, nothing you just said hit home, Lewis. I was like, you don't even know what the word intent. He goes, of course I know what the word intent means. I was like, no, I know you don't, because I can hear that you don't know what you're talking about. And then he's just like, but this is what he's done my whole life, just trying to fill my head with words. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, is he going out of a wizard and warlock spell book to like fuck out my day? That's what it seems like. Scary projects. And then I got like, I'm like, okay, so I sat at if you ever saw Jim Henson's Muppets in this version of Shitbag Human, there was a thing called Animal, Animal, crazy hair, and played the drums, and just blah, blah, blah. I was like, Liz, I was like, I was like, it's like Animal from the Muppets. I was like, or the puppets. I was like, you're like lower than a puppet, but whatever. Animal from the Puppets. I was like, oh my God. I was like, stop talking. I was like, you sound like a Korean. I was like, oh my God. I was like, it's like, it's garbage. It's not even garbage. It's diarrhea in my ear. It's like, oh, because here's the thing, and from the porn section of ES, because that's where he lives in his mental case, because you know that there are men and women in some league of like sailors and money people, and then they took on some like charity cases of underprivileged kids from all the wrong areas with all the wrong reasons in ministry. And they started teaching them all these fancy low-key skills, right? But here's the thing. We have rules, regulations, and standards, morals and ethics committee at that low-key level where people didn't know that keys only came on a piano as a pheno. We're like, right, no, I have a phenotype, low-key, little different at ethics committee that I'm trying to protect in one version of old OPRY before you start letting the broken from the ES visit old OPRY to try to teach them old OPRY to the ES to try to raise their ability. Don't do it. It's just, you're not allowed to. There's a rule on the books for that. So what happens is we were supposed to weed out old OPRY, and that's where Not Up to Snuff comes in for all you Olympians and triathletes and whatever, iron-born, whatever. I gotta think about this. So what happened was we started noticing the thinning of the herd. Like my kind, which is reptilian, which is the amphibious equipment that we don't teach humans about, especially when they're going about their daily scripts of life and they're in a world of their own, just we woke up, this is what it looks like, this is what it is, and I just found out from so-and-so this, great, oh my gosh, cows and horses and, oh, dogs and ducks, that's wonderful. Like, who knew there were so many animals on a possibility of heaven for you? Great, okay, so now I gotta go work on something just a little different. I'm gonna walk into the other room to speak to, like, my tall, handsome mask, because, right, all right, so now we got, that, like, other stuff going on. Like, we're trying to keep this safe and healthy and without angering them and without them losing any of their privileges or their, what they think is normal and what works for them. But then I got people that got themselves into an old Opry position somehow of money, wealth, power, whatever, which is what old Opry is, that the ethics committee is supposed to be working on, cleaning house, and then fighting over which ones they're getting rid of, because they're like, no, that's my best catalog. We know it's the one that's causing the most fucking problem within the whole entire system. So now we've got old Opry. So now we started noticing, like, the witches' words, because there's very specific reptilian and amphibian, like, catalog in our section that we don't share with human, to know who is to be protected above all for other stuff with hanging the sun, the moon, the stars, and keeping the dimensions within a breathable range without them splitting and then causing, like, a genetic to get caught in between 3 dimensions, and then, like, their tidal volume in their lungs just like pops like a cork, or their heart just, like, stops and rips the sac open, and it's no longer in a myocardial, like, whatever sac. So now I've got that going on in my background of where I need to go to, because that's what I was born for. And instead, I'm stuck with some duck ladies and some cows and some chickens and someone that teach me some new stuff. And I'm like, I saw this on the preview on the way in. I am good. I got you. I gotta go fix the league that's got no policing right now, because I'm the ethics, morals, and super soldier league of, like, if you get rid of the testosterone in the world, I'm telling you right now, the fucking Candyland and the Candyman's coming out, and then the children are going to get really loud, obnoxious, spoiled, and then they're not going to want to give up their toys and what they learned. And then there's going to be no testosterone men with guns to come and help clean up the fauna and flora that you developed in a new version of ES, which we'll just call RMS at the moment, because you royals seem like a bunch of shitbags for what you fucking did to me. All right, so now let's think about this. Where am I in? Right, he couldn't decipher the intent, right? Oh, right, and then, like, I remember Ziada coming over, and she had heard something. She was yelling at Tony, being my grandfather, Antonine, and I had said, like, he's on the phone. I was like, he's like first of all, he's simpatico, but he booms when you come. I was like, I'm actually very much the same way. I stay quiet, but if you come at me with your stupid stuff and you're, like, pushing your thoughts into my ear, I am gonna, like, echo back like sonar, just, like, through you, like, go fucking die. I was like, that's kind of how Nono is, but he's not like mucho gusto. Like, no, he doesn't walk around like that. I mean, I know, like, some of you, I mean, I love some of y'all. Oh my God, you walk around like a tomato eggplant, and I'm just like, I feel so safe in the world with them. I do. Like, I don't need to, like, have that as my own, but, like, to have it on my team, it just makes me feel safe in the world that there's someone like that somewhere. I just don't want them to be on the opposite team of what I'm working on. And so my grandfather was more like soft clay, like on the way out, but good enough for America, because he was, like, higher than Archie Bunker, but Ziada came over, I think, with Terry, and Geraldine was there with Vicky. No kids, and not my parents. Only I was there, and that was purposely done, I believe, for the last ticket to the Vatican, for witness and crew and scenery, for checks and safety harnesses throughout my life. So, Ziada and Terry were like upset with No about defending me and having the man from the establishment and the Vatican over, because they heard that they protected Hitler and the Nazis at the end of World War II, after Poland had some Auschwitz event and hurt the people there. They were starving them and burning them in gas chambers. Nicole was like, what? Because I know I woke up Nazi proper. I got the perfect nose for it, and good-looking genetics, and super soldier wives. I had the bone structure. I definitely had the genetics because I had the serpentine in my blood as a providential. I just didn't know what this upset was between the aunt, who, by the way, Azerbaijani, she has the beautiful De Roya, like the not the fire engine red. It's more of the toned down red, but not the chestnut auburn. It's like an in between. It's low on my color, and it's higher on. It's just a beautiful. I mean, like, I can't get linguistics enough to explain it, but I mean, she's an absolute gorgeous, and she is so oat white. I mean, I drink a lot of coffee, and I'm stuck out trying to hide from the sun, but I mean, the way we come is very pale, and so that's what she has. And still, even at like 80, almost 90, I mean, like, her skin, like, no wrinkles. I mean, she's a beautiful woman. And figure wise and whatnot, she's not a size Soviet though, because she's not 5'6". I think she's 5'4". But anyway, but she never got married. She couldn't find an American man that like fit the bill. So whatever. She liked the European men more, but there weren't really many here. Let's see. Well, at least that's the way the story went. But so she was upset. She was yelling, and like No didn't know what to do, because he was like, Beppy called, and Beppy's like, don't you stand up to those women. You show that man in the room. And Geraldine, what Cattaruzza, like, Cesore, like, men, testosterone. You're like the last hope, because we know your son is married with child, which is great. We needed her, but the league is a little worried. I had to have witnesses come and see what your Cattaruzza, because like, they're used to my Cattaruzza down in like Argentina. They don't know what's going on in New York when they hear you're like a soft putty painter of like, you don't want to fight, no pistole. Like, that is totally foreign to the league that the super soldiers and Nicole belongs to. So like, we want to give her a good reputation in like the back operations of getting her to where she needs to be, so her life isn't miserably in New York, unmarried and not taken care of. Right, so that's why Witness was there. I mean, again, Tonine just didn't know what to do. Like, Otto was coming at him. I mean, like, he tried to, and then I was like, what do you say to them? Like, he already knew the whole story that she was fed was false. And it's like, is this the new reality? I mean, like, yes, granted, I've heard that there were people, like some Pinkerton guy that got locked in a Auschwitz cage, and they put tattoos on them, and they had pictures of suitcases. And do y'all even know what year that was? I mean, do you have records? Because I don't know, we're living in the same world. I don't know how you got from that to where same year for New York. And then I came only a couple of years later, and now got glass skyscrapers and these automobiles, and you got planes overhead. the logistics just don't work out on your stories, human. I mean, I'm not saying that they didn't go through some rough stuff, but it's not in the year, and the time and space is not matched up properly for your level of what you've been teaching one another. I'm just saying. And I'm telling you right now, Hitler and my name, head of IT as a starling. And H is an interdimensional clasp. And the 1 is the I, and the T is the mast sail that you sail a sailing ship without engine, without motor, on an iron board, like planked. You do ironwood, right, on the planks. I mean, you go to Boothby Harbor, man, they build ships up there, right? Still, and by Newfoundland, like just somewhere over there, I think. I don't know where the hell all you, like, reliable something specials went in facts that I appreciate learning, not like the fucking crazies that are like, no, they have records. And Tony's like, yeah, no, I mean, like, if I told you she's a fallen angel, but that's what the Nazis were, that's what their campaign was for, was to get out. Their blonde hair, blue-eyed is the one, right? And actually, her betrothed is on one of the posters. They found it in a textbook before he was born, right? And they didn't put her picture in there, though. But the thing is that they needed the eye structure, because reptilians only come this way. They don't come with the fold over the eye of extra skin. That's, again, they gave themselves trisomy. You're not a try anything. But they also gave themselves a yen. No, you're not. We're in a gamma field. Then they gave themselves the North American petroglyph symbol for ant folk, which I didn't even like that word. I'm like, can we stay away from that ant? A-N-T. I was like, oh, right. Okay, so we got Aunt Judy. All right, we'll go with that one. And Antonine, fine. I'll go with that then. But why are the Japanese getting that in their currency market on some false exchange of nobody knows how the fuck any money mechanics or people or time and space works? I'm just curious. Right, then we had one rocket that went up and came back down. All right, now, are you talking to the ES project? It doesn't know anything and gets everything wrong, like the people that you fed the Nazi story to, that it was Hitler and my fault? Are you going to tell him it was the interdimensional project that was to fault? It wasn't a man in, like, by himself. Because if you think of an army and a general station, right, you get like the one, somebody special, like, not George Clooney, stop that. What is the, Patton, right? No, it's John. No, that's Colonel Sanders. That didn't work for me. It's George. He had a wife named B-E-A. And he was a B. Schutzer, whatever. But it was General George. I think it was Patterson. I don't know. Again, you guys with your time and space is like, how many of them do I have to remember? Like, I mean, no, I want to be respectful. I'll learn whoever's important. Then they gave an Oliver North, and I'm like, okay, now see, that is a problem. Because, like, I heard there was a handsome man in front of congressional something with his lapel bling who was named that, which was very respectful. But then I had the Korean in Bayside in my Coptic view. So now I'm watching the real guy in the lapel, the important one, on TV, which doesn't count in your crazy, quasi-successful, how do we explain this to the ES, the OPRY, and just give me the testosterone, please. I'm in the porn district. I don't belong here. I mean, I'll put a hood on. I'll wear a sweatshirt in July for the whole summer. Did that? Did I make any, like, I mean, you sent me one Chinese woman. She was very beautiful, by the way. She was the kind of Chinese that I like. I found out where your good China was hiding. She came to Bayside one day. Acted a little skittish, but I could get over that because I just thought she was scared of something. I'm okay with that. So now, let's think about this. Right. Oh, so Oliver from the north, right? See, they get tricky over there. Like real Oliver with the lapel bling and like the important on the TV. I don't know what year you were born. I can't check your records. I don't have like a filing system for humans. I mean, it's somewhere on like Vatican City equipment, but I don't have access to it. So now I just go with my abacus of like one sticky and one sticky makes two stickies, right? So now here's the sticky situation. They gave me in kindergarten, first grade, in PS31, where Anthony goes now, right? The pubic porn district kids at ES, right? Okay, I mean, they were fully clothed, but it was whatever. So they gave me a little boy who was had a fold over his eye, so he was not venereal diseased in the eye yet, because that only comes with money hungry, where they're like must, on currency and money and machine and having to have things. That's the ES district. So he was there as a little one. He wasn't all venereal diseased yet in venipuncture. However, I wanted the Oliver North without the thing over his eye and with the lapel bling in respectable places. Of I only saw you on something called a TV, and in my league they said that we'll see what we can do with that, but like really she needs face-to-face interactions because we're really not supposed to leave her there. Yeah, try telling like the most holy, like the Ayatollah and the Pope or the Padre inside the Holy Catholic place, and I don't know, are there any other holy men? Got me, anything tribal, right? Go tell one of those respectable gentlemen that you're leaving the fallen angel, doesn't matter the color, but at her, right? Oh, Dalai Lama, I think you got one of those, right? That you're leaving her inside of a broken something the classified guys are calling ES project, where it's like the adults are speaking pornography almost to the children, teaching them the less clothing you wear is better. That like and then they don't give them any real proper instruction about careers and sustaining life for themselves and being kind to one another, right? Yeah, okay, so that's where we're putting the fallen angel, that the whole world's breast of their safety, like, you know, their future relies on. That's how we're treating her. We're just leaving her in like the porn district of public people that didn't really get taken care of before, and now our whole world and projects and survival rate depends on us getting her out of there and to the marriage. But the marriage people that she belongs to and super soldiers, they're like, wait, now we need to know, why was her father kicked out of the military? Why was there so many generations? Why was her grandfather not in the military? Like, we need to know things. Great, it's in their file. We wrote it on the way in because we're reptilian. And we do rubber band spot checks on you humans in super leagues and the morality committee and ethics. Oh, right, okay, great. So now there's no excuse why the two kids